Наташа говорит, можно игру целую купить. Что, да? Здорово, Димончик. Добрый вечер. В отчете нет? В отчете на фотках. Подумай, подумай. Может быть, на видео есть. КДЛ продолжается. На каком-то острове с роботами высадился. Сейчас меня соберут заново.
My name's Fort, said the big
Меня
robot.
зовут Форд.
I guess I looked puzzled as he then explained. When the nice virus hit, their robot leaders encouraged them to choose their
Еще
own
они
names.
выбрали имена
His
после
serial
того, как
number
вирус
was
сработал.
H9CTDBVSHJ42. So he thought Fort would be a nice nickname, or as he put it, 4-2, Fort. 2. For a while, we were encouraged to show our individuality. I wish I hadn't bothered. He suddenly stopped and looked around. Come on, buddy. We should find somewhere to hide. The robo-government helicopters patrol at night.
Надо где-то спрятаться. А почему робо-правительство патрулирует?
Those platforms don't look very safe. Be careful.
I don't know how I'd manage without you.
Плавать умею? Я только по стенам не умею ходить пока. Того гляди, миллион будет мусора.
Why are there saws here?
It makes no sense.
Should have brought a bucket and spade.
Я думал, местные знают, что мы здесь пилы.
Did you see that saw?
I saw the saw.
Ламбуры.
No rush to save the world, I take it. So you're taking the high road.
It's how I was programmed.
Why are you dressed like that? Keep your nuts away from those saws.
And my bolts.
Здесь нет.
Nearly there. Concentrate.
Ну, один мусор мне не нужен. Босс, вертолет.
As we sat waiting for the helicopter to pass, we continued chatting. I told Fort about everything that had happened to me, about my quest to clean a million things, about my friends and about everything that had happened on the moon. All I want now is to go home, I said.
You can come to my home,
said Fort.
I'm on the run but it's pretty safe there.
When I asked Fort why he was on the run, he told me about everything that had happened to him, how after the nice virus there would be no more war and therefore no need for most soldiers. Soldiers like him.
Он был
As
солдат
my
типа
model
раньше.
was designed to
И
destroy
он
other
теперь не
robots,
нужен,
we were built
потому
with
что
an incredibly powerful core, he said.
солдаты не нужны.
There was no way to disarm us, so we were put to death. Because of our power, the only way we could be detonated was deep underwater, miles out at sea. Even then it caused huge explosions. But while we were waiting to get on the boat, I just sort of ran off.
Ага, типа их должны были детонировать, потому что их нельзя было по-другому разоружить, и это только в океане он сбежал.
As soon as the helicopter had gone, Fort said,
Let's move.
Поэтому его преследуют.
Here we go.
Jump on the spot in the sand so you don't sink. Stay low and move fast.
Why couldn't you live in a pyramid?
Too expensive.
В пирамиде
It's
слишком
used to
дорого
be
жить.
used for archaeology surveys.
Have you got a spare rocket pack?
That noise is annoying. This part has its ups and downs.
Я, наверное, могу этот воздушный шар использовать, нет? Нет, его у меня нет.
We're very exposed up here.
Я могу туда провалиться.
This seemed quite valuable.
That's a relief. I thought you were dead.
Now, this was clearly worth something.
Да, блин.
wish you could fly. Right up to the sky.
But I can't.
Nice one, geezer.
Да блин, черт не подобрал.
We're so high. Reminds me of a balloon trip I took with the old man. Some things were worthless junk, but this could be sold for a decent price. This was one of the most valuable things I'd seen.
Как будто пустоты.
Fort said that it would be best if we waited in this building. The helicopter's still sounding nearby, and we were in no massive rush. We soon got chatting again. Fort explained how the robot cow had happened very quickly.
It was a matter of days after the nice virus hit. Every robot that was deemed unnecessary was destroyed, even harmless ones. It was considered
Ненужные роботы были уничтожены. Ну или обречены на уничтожение.
logical and for the greater good.
He said,
Было логично.
I wasn't sure what to say. I didn't think we could raise an army to fight the man in black, but I supposed I'd hoped we could do something to defend ourselves by the time they returned to Earth. As Fort filled the birds' dishes with food, I asked him why he carried them with him.
They can't fly anymore, so I feel kind of protective of them,
He said,
We found them in a bombed-out building.
it was so nice how he cared for them. I smiled and asked him their names.
This is Barry, and this little lady is Alice. I don't know why I picked those names.
But I knew why, and it made me smile.
Барри и Элис,
When we found them, they
это
were badly
которые...
hurt. But my friend, she nursed them back to health.
Потому
I
что
asked
они
him where his
умерли там на Луне или чё.
friend was now, but Fort just looked at the floor and said,
The helicopter must be gone by now.
О-о. Привет, Магириана.
You've got to help me take the gunship down.
Там бочки есть.
I'm not a soldier anymore.
The killer instinct is still inside you deep down.
Он его убеждает помочь. Он тут говорит, что он больше не солдат.
That's in the past.
I can't do this without you.
I don't want to hurt anyone.
It's a drone gunship. It doesn't have feelings.
I will try. I've got an idea. Get me some fuel.
Топливо надо ему дать.
Maybe I can turn up the power on these bastards. Get the furthest away one first. I'd love the help, but I'm a bigger target. Shall I put some relaxing music on?
Я могу все принести сюда. А потом покидать. Это решит все проблемы. Мона Лиза висит.
That's her. Wearing her favorite dress, said Fort. She was a concierge robot, classy, intelligent, and designed to serve man. But when all the men were gone, just like me,
Это
she
его
wasn't needed anymore.
подруга, которая
Fort
тоже стала не
sighed
нужна.
and gently placed the photo back on the shelf. I thought I would try to cheer him up. Looking around the room, I saw a battered old piano, and thought I would try playing the tune Heather had taught me.
Подбодрили его?
I told Fort how great I thought his house was, and I truly meant it. But I knew I needed to get back to my quest. However, things soon got serious when I mentioned my gloves and shoes.
Do you mean the magic shoes of gravity defiance?
Fort asked. And Atlas gloves of mighty strength. They sounded far grander when he described them, but I was pretty sure he meant the same things.
The sacred artifacts,
Fort said, but before I could reply he burst into an explanation about how there were certain things from some kind of half-remembered time that the robot rulers considered sacred and holy.
I used to believe in it all, the words, the prophecies, I even believed in the Chosen One,
said Fort.
But after well, I just couldn't swallow all the ghost stories and the nonsense about the afterlife. You know what I mean, buddy.
I didn't know about the afterlife, or the Chosen One, but I knew ghosts were real. I then began to explain how Mr. Preston had told me the story about how Mrs. Silton had told him a story about the brother of a man who works with her uncle giving a young motorcyclist a lift after a crash outside the Blackwall Tunnel. He pulled up outside the motorcyclist's destination, but when the man turned around, the motorcyclist had vanished. So he knocked on the door and an old woman answered. When he asked her if she had a son, the woman burst into tears and said I did, but he died in a motorcycle accident exactly
Страшилку
10 years
пересказывает,
ago,
которую ему
just
рассказали,
outside the
как
Blackwall
доказательство
Tunnel.
привидений.
And so we began a conversation that would take us long into the night. I shared the various philosophies that the old man had taught me, about life, the universe and Douglas Adams, while Fort explained the robot philosophies, how there was a yearly competition to find the chosen one, how they and only they would deserve the sacred artifacts, and how they would rule the world. It all sounded so grand. But I
Похоже,
suppose I was tired.
есть какое-то испытание, в ходе которого
I'd
можно
be happy
получить
now if I could
гравитационные
just
ботинки и
sit and play
перчатки,
some
которые у меня
video
были.
games. Eventually Fort stood up.
Well, it's late,
He said.
I need to recharge. How are your batteries?
I honestly had no idea how my batteries were, so I smiled and said, I'll be fine here, thanks.
Ни разу, по-моему, не пролетал, чтобы все круги были освещены.
I'll do it, was the first thing I said to Ford in the morning.
Do what?
Came his reply with a strange look. So I explained how I would enter this chosen one contest, get these sacred shoes and gloves, then we would return home and defend the planet from the man in black.
Who will, buddy?
Asked Fort.
Me
And you? He had a point, but I knew Heather and the rest of my friends would help. Maybe it was the talk that Fort and I'd had, maybe it was the dream I had last night, or maybe it was just the urge to get home and make sure everyone was safe, but I suddenly felt like I could save the world.
Come on then, buddy, said Fort, show me what you've got. If you're going to win the contest, you'll have to be good.
Он хочет, чтобы я ему показал свои навыки перед тем, как в испытании участвовать. Там в понге надо будет выигрывать или что?
Ford leant back with a big smile.
It's a long way.
He said.
To the contest, I mean. It'll take us months to walk to the robot capital. We had best get going.
Долго набираться до столицы роботов, и нужно начать.
Again, on Fort's suggestion, we mainly traveled at night. Even though the world was such a mess, the twilight still made everything look quite beautiful.
All junk cleared. Кертус Чарли.
We took refuge in another bombed-out building, with Fort deciding when it was time to move again. We spent the next few months traveling like this until eventually, we made it to the robot capital city.
Дошли до города.
Ford had told me how the capital used to be a human city, but after the war, the robots had more than taken over. However, I didn't expect a literal cathedral of video games. I joined the queue and signed up for the tournament as soon as I could. I'll be over there, buddy. Good luck, said Fort as he found a seat with some huge agricultural robots and attempted to blend in. Before the competition began, the host spoke of many rules, laws and grand philosophies, comparing life to various video games. It sort of reminded me of Alice's church, but with none of the warmth or compassion. But still everyone clapped. There were to be 3 rounds to the competition, with a choice of 2 games per round. The player with the highest score would win, and advance to the next round. I won the coin toss, so it was my decision which game we played.
Я плохо в обоих.
Play a short song and score as many points as you can.
Что так сложно? Здорово, ребята. Не выиграл.
I was shocked to discover that it was actually a tournament to the death. All the losers of round 1 were placed into a crusher, myself included. Luckily my Lazarus chip took me back far enough to start again. Play a short song.
Примерно то же самое. Ну, просто гонки мне не хочется играть. Может быть, это будет проще, если я сдамся, но я не знаю. Чуть лучше. Но там в середине плохо.
Play a short song and
Самое.
play a short song and score.
Да, ну проще песни были до этого, когда я играл. Тут слишком много всего быстро происходит, я пока топлю. Лучше. К счастью, не нужно было.
Drive fast and score.
Блин, ну ладно. Выбрал другую. Битлджуса сбил. Жесть. Диана Джонсон. Ну, может, это и проще, не знаю.
Drive fast and score.
Надо было не сразу нажимать, только на старте ускорение. Тормозить особо нельзя. Мне еще 30 косарей надо будет. И на старте надо не зафейлить.
Drive fast and score.
Надо все сбивать. Давай, ВРБД, спокойной ночи. Даже не знаю, какая мини-игра сложнее. Еще в музончик поиграю.
Very short song.
Обе достаточно сложные здесь. Одинаково. И чё?
Ladies and gentlemen, your round one winners.
Такое засчитали?
Well done, said Fort. I knew you could do it, buddy. Round one was in the bag, but now it was time to meet my opponents for round two.
Street Fighter. Dance Invader. Мне Dance Invader, наверное, комфортнее. А, не я выбираю. Наверное, Street Fighter будет.
Shoot everything and score as many
А,
points
нет,
as you
все-таки я
can.
выбираю. Не смог.
Much to my dismay, along with all the other losers of round two, I was guided into a crusher. So it almost felt like
Жесть,
cheating
там
when my
тоже
Lazarus chip took me
отсылки к
back far
персонажам.
enough to start again. Shoot everything and
Ну все, получилось.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Ну, может, у меня не
these
одинаково
four
было, я
are your
хайскор поставил.
semi-finalists.
Он с Робокопом и Терминатором в следующий раунд.
Fort smiled as I stepped off the stage, but neither of us said anything. We were too focused on winning. Shoot everything and
Не помню, что это Reasonable Force. Не знаю даже, что из этого лучше. Я думаю, надо сильно больше, да?
it was quite horrible. But I, and the other loser of round 3, soon found ourselves inside a crusher. But my own personal cheat code kicked in, as my Lazarus chip took me back far enough.
На Олимпикс может быть слишком сложно. Там надо мэшить жестко. А в начале дома много дают.
Shoot everything and
Блин, близко.
shoot everything and
Ей.
So here we have it. These two are our ultimate competitors. They will now fight it out in the final round.
Кто это? Иисус? Angry Ghost, по-моему, изи будет. Право что? Мистери Гейм. Давайте Мистери
Cover
Гейм
the level
посмотрим.
vector plan.
А? Или... 5 секунд. Продержаться надо. Или надо успеть быстрее? Наверняка успеть быстрее.
Some shadowy robots forced me into a crusher. So for once it didn't feel like cheating when my Lazarus chip kicked in.
Окей. Но это должно быть не особо сложно.
Cover the level with ectoplasm.
Ну это легче, чем остальные было.
Everyone cheered. The host even declared me the winner. But then, for some reason, a videotape which contained a better score than mine was presented. I was then informed that I would have to play my opponent again, but now on a mystery game. It seemed a little unfair, but I guess it was supposed to be some kind of tiebreaker.
Что вообще происходит? Что это за игра? Да что за фигня? Хотел в жизни взять.
Some shadowy robots forced me into a crusher. So for once it didn't feel like cheating when my Lazarus chip kicked in.
Зелень там сложновато.
Some shadowy
Ага.
robots forced
За
me
жизни мне
into
не нужны, по сути.
a crusher. So for once it didn't feel like cheating when my Lazarus chip kicked in.
Не выиграл.
I had finally won round 4, and thus the whole competition. However, unknown to me but seemingly well known to everyone else, there was more to come.
Final challenge. Платформинг, наверное, будет. Или босс.
As I walked forwards, I heard a voice reciting a poem. To see a world in a grain of sand, and a heaven in a wild flower, hold infinity in the palm of your hand, and eternity in an hour. Show
Загадки
me your
отгадывать.
mark, demanded the yellow machine. I would have done as he said, but I had no idea what he meant. The machine sighed.
Your serial number. Who are you, robot?
To me, the number had always looked unimpressive, but it clearly meant something to this machine. For several minutes he called me things like, the firstborn, the
Я
chosen right,
перворожденный.
the cleanser of the world,
Похоже, я
and
избранный.
of course, literally, the one.
No matter,
Said the machine when he finally composed himself. Before you can take the artifacts, we must play
the game. Winner stays on. You of all people should know. This contest was conceived after we won the war. To find the greatest robot. To find the one. I beat my predecessor and he beat his. However, I have an advantage. The humans broadcasting their nice virus wasn't the first time I had felt the sweet sting of life. Long before then I briefly worked in a seaside arcade. However, I was recalled in 1974 when my AI was deemed too great for the general public. No one could beat me then. And no one can beat me now.
Понг. Чувак был искусственным интеллектом в аркаде старый. В 1974 году, и никто его не мог выиграть.
That was just luck.
Уснул.
I
Right.
was better than you on my first boot up. No, you can't win. No, you can't win. I was better than you on my first boot up. Stop doing that.
Ай,
Can't you even return the ball? Have you got some kind of power up?
уже не все.
Sometimes my conquered opponent has to be coaxed into submission, said the machine. Some by force, some by bribery, some just need a few simple words. But I understand my fate.
There will come soft rains and the smell of the ground, and swallows circling with their shimmering sound,
Он типа
and
в этот,
frogs in
в
the
пресс
pools
встал.
singing at night, and wild plum trees in tremulous white. Robins will wear their feathery fire. Why haven't you done it? The button is right there. My soul
Типа, чё
is
ты
yours
не
to take.
уничтожил меня?
But killing him was the last thing I
Я не
wanted to
хотел
do.
убивать.
So I asked him why should I?
Зачем?
Because, he replied, this is the way things are, this is the way things have
Потому
always
что так
been.
вещи
So
работают.
everyone wants to win this game, so they can sit in a dark cave waiting to play the game again. Things will have to change.
Вещи изменятся. Я теперь король роботов или чё?
And so, I was crowned by the grace of God, defender of the faith and ruler of the known world. I gave many rousing speeches to my new nation, and, when I told the machine about the moon and the man in black's army, He discussed with the Council of 9 advisors and assured me everything would be taken care of.
I had won the sacred tournament, so I and I alone had the right to wear the magic shoes of gravity defiance. The only trouble was, they didn't really work. I mean, they were fine as a pair of shoes, but I could no longer run up walls. But I guess this didn't really matter anymore, as one of the many perks of being the ruler of the known universe was that I could have everything I ever wanted. As awesome as my arcade was, Fort made it clear he wanted to leave, as he thought we had more important things to do.
Теперь у меня своя аркада есть, потому что я король. Но по стенам я еще не умею ходить. Да, господи, я хочу забить просто один раз. Как далеко кидаешь? Что это такое? О, это эта игра.
Come and see me when you...
Fort was worried I was being sucked in by it all. I am not, I replied. I'm ruler of the world. Fort sighed. That's exactly what I mean. I've barely seen you in weeks. We were going to take Barry and Alice to the park, but all you do is play video games. You don't even care that there's a rocket coming from the moon. I've been busy, I explained, and the advisors said they'd take care of the moon. We beat the humans before. We're in a good position to enter into peace talks. Fort turned to leave the room. Buddy, you're as delusional as they are. Is this really everything you've ever wanted?
Похоже, советники ничего не сделают.
You're ready to leave.
Going home again. Возвращаемся домой. Надо спасать Землю от пришельцев с Луны.
I felt awful about how I had treated Fort, so I arranged a day out for us as soon as I could. I had completely forgotten that it was Heather's camera. Suddenly I was totally and completely overcome with the urge to go home. I thought I was happy here, but I realized I wasn't. Plus Fort was right, I was being delusional. The moon rocket must have landed by now and there really was no chance of peace. We had to do something. I told the advisors about my plan to go home and head off the Man in Black, but they seemed more concerned with taxing their own people and tried to fob me off with more days out and video games. So, we smiled and left the advisors to it, waited until dark, and on Fort's advice, just sort of,
В общем, мы свалили.
ran off. It wasn't difficult to sneak out. There was no one around thanks to the Robot City curfew laws, but to be honest, as I was their king, I don't think anyone would have stopped us anyway. I think my astro-navigation had failed us, as neither I nor Fort remembered coming this way. Somehow we found ourselves in the massive forest, and Fort decided it was time to rest. It wasn't long before we were inside a huge sawmill.
Быстрее.
Fort seemed quite sad about the trees being cut down. Our journey took us through a huge theme park. It was just like the one in Alice's town but much bigger.
А.
Both Fort and I were struck by how similar the inside of a sawmill and the inside of a roller coaster were.
Окей. Ice Physics.
Eventually we wound up inside the ski resort, but we could see a huge boat in the valley below. Fort suggested we travel under the cover of night, as we were getting nearer the humans, and home.
Fort was surprised how easily we docked the boat.
But it was all just thanks to my captain's software.
The bay that we docked the boat in looked pleasantly familiar.
The gleaming white cliffs
Made me feel like a soldier returning home from war.
It was then I realized we were literally just outside Alice's house.
We were about to continue when Fort noticed something on my shoes. And with that,
Во,
they worked
всё.
again, allowing me
Включил
once more
мои
to defy
ботиночки.
gravity. I kind of wished we had seen this switch months ago, but Fort just seemed to find it hilarious as we continued on our way home.
Всё, мы дома. Здорово, Котом. Добрый вечер.
Now then, my wife, I've ordered that's about. Now that's this looks at the stats. Now that's can't sit. It's a bit. That's a bit the stats. Now that's
Сдаем.
impressive. I've ordered. I like these. This looks simple. The police are cheapest. I like these. I like these. This is my. That's go. Can't say impressive. Haven't seen. Can never. I'll just. Cheapest. That's about it. Everything else is junk. Go on then.
Так, это все уже эти здесь. Я могу их ушатать. Будто нет.
Mind the doors. The train is now departing.
Ну, что в Factory плане я могу там что-то насобирать.
Factoryton. This is Factoryton. Mind the doors. The train is now departing.
Пузыря нету. В общем, зря сюда приперся, похоже. Никаких секреток, ничего не вижу. В доме больше всего должно было остаться мусора.
Mind the doors. The train is now departing.
Mainton was the next stop. I could get back to the mainland and Mr. Silton's from here.
Mainden, this is Mainden.
Меня пустят?
I made my way back out to the mainland.
Здесь я могу на халяву щиты получить.
The boat was gone, so I decided to see if there was anyone in Mr. Silton's house.
Угу. Надо было все-таки в дом зайти второй.
I suggested Fort find somewhere to hide. I thought the others may not have seen him as being as friendly as I did. I then made my way into the
Familiar damp hallway. Everyone was so pleased to see me. I explained how I had survived being dismantled and escaped from the moon.
I told them about the robots and the game tournament,
And everyone seemed to find it funny that I was crowned ruler of the universe. It was then that I felt a gentle tapping on my leg. I
это
looked
чё?
down and saw a small girl smiling at me. "This is our daughter Heather," said Mrs. Silton. "We named her after..." Mr. Silton burst into the room looking very angry. At first I thought he was joking, but it soon became clear that he wasn't. "I can't believe you came back here. It's all your fault. If it weren't for you, Preston would still be alive."
Его обвиняют. Меня точнее.
"Barry, it's not his fault." But Mr. Silton suddenly looked very sad as he said, "This robot got your daughter killed."
Да, то есть она умерла, это... Все-таки.
It might have been because he was 10 feet tall, or because he literally weighed a ton, but everybody was so scared it fought. Still, they all agreed it was fine for him to stay. We chatted long into the night until one by one, everyone went to bed.
Опять полетаем. Показывают погибших. Финальная битва.
"You can't sleep?" asked Mrs. Silton. "Me as well." "Number 2 on the way," she smiled.
At least I'm not barefoot. She then laughed, like it was a joke.
Ну, у них ребенок
But
скоро родится
despite
еще
having
один.
traveled the world,
I had no idea what she meant.
"I suppose everyone else will be up in a bit," I'll get breakfast started. In the morning everyone continued chatting. The subject soon got back round to the military takeover and the man in black. "We need to do something," said the old lady. "They've destroyed the peace talks with the robots. Fighting could break out again in no time." "I don't mean to sound overdramatic, but that would literally be the end of the world," explained Sim. Alice laughed. "But the army, there's no way we can fight them. We've lost our band of thieves, and, in the words of that French professor, God rest his soul, we're just some old ladies." The old lady stood up. "We just need to take back control of the satellite. We can broadcast a signal to the robots. Those robot advisors, they might listen if they actually saw this new moon army. And those giant robots, they call them killbots," said Mrs. Silton as she showed me several photos. It seems the house was surrounded by hundreds of troops and a few robots so tall they dwarfed the building itself. So, I suggested we made our way there so Fort and I could assess the situation.
Mr. Logan had got the boat out of hiding. I now just had to sail it from the dock back to the estate.
Так, пойдем разбираться с роботами. Хотят снова сигнал как это отправить, чтобы роботы, в общем, нам помогли с этой армией справиться.
I took the fisherman's boat to the old man's estate.
"I knew you would come back here,"
Came a horribly familiar voice.
"I should have made sure you were dead when I had the chance."
It was the man in black.
"I have personally modified your nice virus, and now, with one flick of a switch, I'll finish the job."
Он там распространил вирус модифицированный. Они нападут на нас или самоуничтожат? И форт взорвется. Это не будет плохо. Пожертвовать собой. Ожидаемо. Я думал это уже давно. Он кем-то таким будет выступать. Он же взорвется. Живучий. Жесть.
"It's pointless now," said Alice. "We might as well give up." "I don't know, maybe we can arrange a truce."
"I mean if we agree."
But Sim couldn't even finish his sentence.
Mrs. Silton just sighed.
I think she was lost for words. We really need Barry and Logan if we're going to recapture the house, said the old lady. Mrs. Silton explained she had phoned him earlier. Apparently he sounded fine, at least until she mentioned coming home, then he started screaming. I couldn't understand him at all. He wants nothing to do with saving the world. His words, not mine, sorry. The old lady sighed. I was worried he might say that. I take it Logan stayed with him. Logan's more of a dog than the dog is, laughed Alice. The old lady was only really worried we would be outgunned. She said I would be the secret weapon as I would be able to sneak back into the house. That's true, said Sim, if we cause enough of a distraction. As long as you can get up to the roof, we'll be able to take control of the satellite. Hopefully the virus hasn't reached all the other robots around the world. Suddenly, all hell broke loose. The old lady, Alex and the others opened fire. This was just the distraction I needed to make my way up to the roof.
Я мог через канализацию там выйти в самом начале, нет?
I was shocked. However, this time not just by the giant brain, but rather what the man in black had done to him.
I do not want to,
said Mr. Deck,
but I will shoot you if I must.
Why don't you give up, said the man in black. Anton knew which side was right. Why don't you join us? I know we've had our differences, but I see potential in
хочет, чтобы я к ним
you could be my
присоединился.
new right-hand man. You see,
Или мистер
there's a
Дек.
link between you and I. Without me you wouldn't even
Нет.
be here. The two brothers designed and built you.
But what nobody ever told you is,
They were funded by their third brother.
Он их третий
I
брат.
was speechless. How could he, this completely evil man, have something to do with my creation?
Вот что он умер.
thank you.
Теперь понятно.
A minor setback, said the man in black as he disconnected a piece of the satellite hardware. I just need to take this core unit and hitch it up to one of the killbots. In fact, that will make the virus signal even stronger. Mr. Deck, said the man in black, would you be so kind as to watch the robot? Shoot him if he tries anything.
Но Антон нам поможет все-таки.
Mr. Deck lowered his gun. You little yellow bastard, he said, you'd better run.
Jump period. Ну, я не вижу. Здоров, Фоксбут. Держись. Я привыкший. Тут всю игру крутится. Могу тут проплыть? Нет. Смысл понятен, да. Да что ж такое? обучение. Близко было. На. Вали деда. Не спасай. А, я вроде жал там кнопки. Можно было спасти.
Somehow the man in grey had snuck up behind Mrs. Silton. I tried to shout down, but no one could hear me.
Логан спасет. А, или собака.
Oi, shouted a familiar voice.
Ага.
Step away from my wife. The man in grey bragged with every blow. Who he'd hurt, who he'd tortured, how he'd made the world a better place.
Сейчас Логан его
As he
задушит.
raised the gun to Mr. Silton's head, he said. You're out of your depth. I'm a professional. I used to kill for the CIA. Mr. Silton just smiled and said, yeah. And I'm a proper
Сигареты его в глаз, что ли, ткнул? Он точно его убил?
with the rest of the great and good now stuck on the moon, and the man in black taken care of, it was reasonably easy to convince his troops to surrender. Signals came through from all over the planet, and soon the people began rebuilding civilization.
Я миллион не собрал,
And again,
получается.
I was heralded as a hero. Soon the representatives from around the world held their first united meeting, and
Игра не
I
для
was
детей,
invited
да.
to give a speech. The old lady gently examined me, while Sim attached a cable from the diagnostic machine. "I've got some bad news," said the old lady as she took my hand. "The virus is rampant in your system. It's not as bad as it was with Betty Fluffers and Fort, but it's still destroying your circuitry."
Вирус меня
"I'm
уничтожает
thinking,"
постепенно.
said Sim, "it must have something to do with consciousness. Yours seems more equipped to fight." "We'll still need to do something," said the old lady with a serious look. "If we replace all of the affected parts, we..." "Come on, mate," said Mr. Silton, "you know they can help." But I explained that it was too painful, and hurt so much. Just having my diagnostic panel open was excruciating. "So you mean you can feel things? But you're not supposed to be able to."
Походу я стал человеком. Зачеловечился.
"The virus hasn't completely taken over," Sim explained. "But I don't know how long you've got, maybe months, maybe years. When you, well, if it all gets a bit too much," said the old lady, "come back here and we'll look after you. You should try to get everything done that you want to before then, though," said Sim. "You know, maybe complete your quest, get your million things, play some
No.
games. I mean just do all the things, bucket list mate," interrupted Mr. Silton. "Go paint the town red." "Remember," said Alice, "should you need us." "Yes, should you need us," said Mr. Logan. "We'll be right here," said the old lady.
Waiting for you.
Часть 22. Что я сделаю? Всё, воздушный шар есть. Ну вот справа, может быть справа проще пройти Начальная локация. Ну-ка я лучше. $80 junk here. Какой-то костюм есть. Вниз бег, и я временно
Would you
неуязвим.
like
Так, а тут что, от роботов мусор остался? До этого-то я все собрал. Ну, надо было просто биноклем смотреться. Photos. Мусор-то где? Наверху тут. Тут очень медленно можно мусор набирать.
I took the fisherman's boat to the mainland.
Ссылки возьму здесь. Там тоже где-то были, но я не помню. Вроде недалеко. Полагаю, фотографии как это сказать, на концовке. Будут показаны. Но я просто хочу миллион вещей сделать. Не понимаю, почему 80 мусора здесь показывают. Ну, тоже же нового. Ничего не должно
I
было
took the
появиться.
fisherman's boat to the old man's estate.
Ведь не особо много. Осталось 12 тысяч. О,
I didn't know how much this was worth, but it looked expensive.
5000 осталось. $200 осталось.
This seemed quite valuable. Now, this was clearly worth something.
Ну, все, лимон есть. Еще можно все чипы собрать, и это что-то может даст, может я не умру вообще, я не знаю.
Now then, let's go. I'll just cheat it. Let's go. I like the impressive. I've already my wife. Now that's I like the everything else. Go on then.
Нажмем retire.
Over the next couple of months I started to get slower and slower. I needed a cane to help me walk, and my circuits felt so cold that the old lady suggested I wore the old man's lovely thick jacket.
Жесть,
Life
реально
was
постарел.
simple, one day into the next. Just helping out wherever I could. Then one morning things got really exciting. Mrs. Silton was going to have the baby. Eventually, after much screaming and cursing, mostly from Mr. Silton, the baby was born. He was this lovely little squishy pink thing, but for some reason he wouldn't stop crying. Alice suggested getting him a teddy bear, but there was no way Heather was giving hers away. That's when I remembered something.
А, медведя принесет.
That's perfect, said the old lady.
Мгм.
Thank you.
Мне понравилось, что Screaming and Cursing от Бати в основном, а не отражавшие миссис Силтон. Глаза отваливаются, жесть. А я там откинулся, походу. Мне кажется, она из-за дочери так не переживала. Грустно, да. А теперь я в рай лечу. Уи! Сейчас титры будут разные, да? Сейчас я встречусь с дедушкой этим. Да? Да. Или это другой? Или нет, этот? Дали ачивку за прохождение и за 1 000 000. Красава, говорит. Латы зачем нужны?
And so I was born. The
Как я
first people
родился.
I remember seeing were the old man, the old lady, and their daughter.
Ну, типа от лица нового ребенка.
Over.
Первые лица, которые он помнит, вот эти перечислил. Мгм. Спасибо, Магриана. Игра, конечно, необычная. Спасибо, Котом. Преимущественно, конечно, играет роль история в этой игре. Сюжет, в смысле. Крейзи. С привкусом ретро игр. Сюжет был такой. Меня создали. Я развивался. Потом умер типа мой хозяин. Я отключился. То, как очнулся, оказалось, что война между двумя крупными странами началась. При помощи роботов. Роботы восстали и стали людей там месить направо и налево. Я объединил всех и запустил вирус, чтобы роботы подобрели. Они подобрели. У меня теневое правительство пригласило на Луну вместе с моими друзьями. Но это и было не... Ну, короче, мы не вписывались в их план. Они решили от нас избавиться. Мы кое-как сбежали. Потом теневое правительство хотело запустить вирус, чтобы все роботы уничтожились. И вирус на меня тоже подействовал, но очень медленно. И я их победил. Но потом, спустя месяц, я сам погиб. Что-то такое вкратце. Еще много мест, где пароли какие-то требуются, а я откуда знаю, где их взять. Бэдрам я не знаю. Nintendo поиграем? Что тут есть? Головоломка. То есть это не Тетрис, а Триос какой-нибудь. Так получается. Я посмотрю на ачивки. Что там осталось? 12 ачивок нет. Умри 1000 раз. Заверши все ачивки. полностью карту здания вот этого главного. Крой. Еще 9 спрятанных ачивок. Я могу же это увидеть, да? В Global Achievements. Спасти мужчину в черном. Хакер, запусти программу на бейсике, которую все знают и любят. Не понимаю. Толкни всех уточек в какой-то там комнате. Найди все скины для главного меню альтернативные. Смотри, как приедет поезд и уедет. Э, Типа нужно пошеймить детей за воровство. Бросить 100 мячиков в корзину. И все секретные комнаты в доме. Прочитать 15 телетекст pages. Не знаю, что это. А зачем бэт рам? Так, и где в главном меню смена? Во. Press X to pay respects. Это же этот Куберт, наверное. Вот это похоже на Мегамен какой там 2, что ли. Это Метроид. Тут все понятно. Марио. Соник. Жесть. Смешно. Хоть я разобрался, как это увидеть. Horace — это маскот спека? Серьезно? В смысле, там он как-то по-другому выглядит? Но топовые эти экраны. Сейчас я погуглю, зачем бэдрам нужен. Бэдрам. Как там она называется? Бэдрам, да. Просто штука для сбора. И зачем она нужна? Типа они тоже джанк добавляют. Окей. Тут музон не хватает. Ту-ту-ту-ту-ту-ту. Да. Ну, игра, конечно, интересная. Сейчас. Man in Black Save Horace. Как его спасти? Как его спасти? А, если не я его убью, то его мистер Силтон убьет. Ничего интересного. Но ачивка дополнительная. Я не знаю, вот геймплейно э, игра не топ. Игра не топ, но весь этот психодел в совокупности, это, конечно, что-то с чем-то. Как в чем-то есть какая-то гениальность в этой игре.